Welcome to Simply Fresh Food with Chef Renee. Today, in honor of our intern Justin, we are going to be making an Australian dish. Justin just traveled over to Australia and we're going to be doing fish and chips. Yay! We're also going to be making some grilled vegetables to go with that. Let's get started. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get started on our chips. We call them here in America French fries, but in Australia, they call them chips. Now, what you want to make sure is that you get you a nice starchy potato. And what we're going to be using is Yukon Gold. They have a very good flavor. I've already cut them into sort of a batonette cut, or a French fry cut, or in this case, a chips cut. And they soaked in water where it removes some of that starch, not all of it. And also, we have drained them and dried them. It's important when you're putting this type of an ingredient into a hot oil. You don't want any water. You want to reduce your bubbling and splashing as much as possible. I'm going to test our oil here. That's been heating. It looks as though it is ready. Look how that popped. Now, I'm also going to tell you that today we are going to be doing a double fry. And that is, you know what? I think I better use this. We're going to be twice frying the potatoes. And the reason we're going to do that, I've lost one, is so that we get a nice crispy fry. So we're going to start with our first fry. Now, I anticipated that kind of sizzle, so I have, here it is, my splatter cover. There we are. So we're going to do a first fry, and the reason that we do first fries in restaurants and including at my home is so that you get a nice crispy fry. We're going to take that out. It's not going to be golden brown ready, and we're going to let that sit until we're ready. Then we'll fry it a second time, and that second time will give us that crispy French fry that we're looking for. So we don't want this long, so I'm going to check it now. And I think this is perfect for a first fry. So let's take those out. You got a little bit of a brown, but not much. If you ever wonder why you end up having wilted French fries or soggy French fries or just the ones that aren't at attention always, that would be why, is because they haven't gone through a second fry. So we have those off for the first fry for that batch, and I'm going to make a lot. Justin likes fries. You're going to meet Justin later. Now, if you were finished with your fries and you were getting ready to eat them, you want to salt them right when you take them out. That way the salt stays there, and I would use a coarse salt for that. You can use cayenne pepper, you can use black pepper. That's one of my husband's favorite. I think he puts black pepper on everything. But it's very delicious. So we're going to let that go through the first fry. We'll do the last batch, and then we'll get started on our fish. And I'll tell you about that batter as well. They are coming right along. We are going to use for our batter, when we get to the fish part, we're going to use a beer batter. And why? Because they drink a lot of beer in Australia. They also drink beer here in America a lot, but one of their popular beers over in Australia is called Victoria Bitter, and you can't get that anywhere in the United States at this time. There was a time when you could get that Victoria Bitter, as it was owned by a company that was a subsidiary of Heineken. But when I was doing my research, I found you couldn't get that any longer in America. But you can always find another beer. So I'm going to take these out. And you say, how can I tell if they're ready to come out? They'll have sort of like a hard outside to them. And you just sort of tap it with your fingernail or your finger and you'll see. If it's still too soft, then you want to let them go a little bit longer. Now here's my last batch. Now, see how those are taking a little while to bubble up? The oil is still hot, but if I were to crowd the pan, that is if I had put all of the potatoes in there, it would have brought the temperature of the oil down way too fast, and I would have ended up with potatoes or chips that just fell over and leaned over. Would not have done exactly what I wanted to do. So you want to make sure that you do these in batches. So while I wait on that, I'm going to get rid of this bowl and I'm going to cover that up. When I made the fries, when I was going through the dish and making sure to see if I wanted to season up the fries or not, I actually considered making yuca fries. And yuca is has a delicious taste. It's loaded with starch and carbohydrates. So I made them just to taste and see what the difference was, because you can get those in some of the finer restaurants. And they taste like the fry, but it's slightly sweeter in my opinion. But they are loaded with nutrients and vitamins, minerals, and so forth that are good for you. So if you didn't want to use this potato or a Yukon potato or one of our traditional potatoes, you can always use yuca, and they come out just perfectly fine. Now, I'll tell you this, I boiled the yuca once I cut them into my French fry or my chip shape, my batonette shape, or cut. I boil them in a salted garlic water. And that was just to add some additional flavor to it. And then I took them out and I let them dry out completely. Then I fried them. Now, if you do that with a yuca, you don't have to go through the second frying of the French fry. They are going to be crispy and they will stay that way. So that's a good substitute for you. Let's check on these. They are ready. Now that I have the fries all ready and waiting for their second fry, I'm going to get this cleaned up while we take a break, and then when we return, we'll get started on that beer battered fish. If you've had a fabulous food or a wonderful dining experience while traveling or on vacation, we'd like to hear about it. Send in a picture and a brief description of the place, the fabulous food, and the delightful dining experience to simplyfreshestfood@gmail.com. We'll share some of your fabulous dining destinations with our viewers. We love good food here wherever it can be found. So let us hear from you at simplyfreshestfood@gmail.com. Welcome back. Let's get started with our fish. Now, I have here cod, in fact, cod loin. But you can feel free to use whatever you'd like, halibut or another meaty fish. I've even seen it for snapper. I have a beer batter here that I made. And this is just flour with a few seasonings, turmeric, cayenne pepper, salt, just things. You mix up that flour with beer, about a cup of beer, and then you let it sit for about 20 minutes. And then you take your fish, which I'm going to make sure these are nice and dry. And see how that batter is just aerated? Very nice. All right, and so I'm going to put my fish in here. This bowl I can crowd. Oh, and my oil is nice and hot because I actually can feel a little bit of the heat, so we are going to test that. I'm going to toss that. Isn't this beautiful? The turmeric gave it this nice yellow color. You don't have to use that. I try to get in some of the healthier and healthy herbs and spices wherever I can. I'm going to drop this into the hot oil. And it's important that your oil is nice and hot. And look how that floats to the top. This is what you want. And I'm using a cast iron skillet because of the even heating that it provides, meaning it's cooking on all sides, everything. And you definitely want that to occur here. You do not want to overcrowd this pan. Oh, and I see I have to turn one already. They're all coming over to me. Not yet. It's almost time. Okay, so I'm going to turn that over. These are looking absolutely beautiful. And remember, it is important that that oil be nice and hot. Let me get a few more paper towels. Here's some fresh paper towels. That's so that we can put our fish, once it's ready, on a nice hot paper towel. Oh, we don't need this one. They are looking really, really wonderful. Look at this beautiful golden brown. And that batter just puffed right up, and that fish is going to be nice and flaky on the inside. And you want it to be this beautiful golden brown that we are getting. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? I'm going to take that out. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And yes, you can do this and yours will look just like this. You make sure the oil is hot. Let your batter sit for 20 minutes. And that way all the chemicals and everything get to do their thing in the bowl. And I'm just turning this just so that for even cooking and to make sure everything gets done. Again, that's just sort of like it's another way of ensuring that your food is cooked properly and to temperature, because we are cooking seafood. All right, those look beautiful, good enough to eat. All right, so here's our last batch going in. Oh, that was seriously my last batch. There we are. And I am going to put this batter away. And this is quick cooking. You know, when I was looking up different dishes in Australia, there, of course, we all know about kangaroo, and yes, they do have kangaroo, but that's more Aboriginal eating over in Australia. But they are pretty much just the same as we. They have Pizza Hut, they have Kentucky Fried Chicken, they have a lot of Chinese restaurants, they have a lot of different cuisine, they have German cuisine over. So it's really a melting pot of a lot of things, a lot of influences dating all the way back even before the 1800s. So if you were looking for the true or authentic Australian food, they call that bush tucker or bush tucker. So you could look for those dishes. And one dish that they eat are these little white grubs. And they actually eat them raw or roasted. And they're very nutritious for you. I didn't think you wanted me to make that today on the show. So we went with the fish and chips. Aren't you glad? Maybe another time. But there were some really interesting dishes. And they eat a lot of, are used to, or they eat a lot of berries and plants and things that are very nutritious and healthy for you. So we wanted to make something since Justin, our intern, traveled over and had some of the dishes over in Australia. And this will be Justin's, excuse me, last month with us. So we wanted to do something for him to remember us by. Now that we have the fish all done, we are going to sit the fish in the oven, a warm oven, just to keep it warm. We're going to get started on our grilled vegetables when we return, and the second fry of the French fries, or the chips in this case, and then we can eat. I'll see you in just a few moments. Hi, I'm Chef Renee of Simply Fresh Food with Chef Renee, and we have another restaurant experience for you. Justin sent in a picture of his favorite food and restaurant experience while visiting Australia. That's right, land down under. He shared with us his favorite food experience of a kangaroo pizza. In addition, a 100% kangaroo burger, complete with beetroot, homemade mayonnaise, and caramelized onions. Yummy. We want to thank Justin for sending in and sharing with us here at Simply Fresh Food with Chef Renee his restaurant experience. And we look forward to receiving more from you out there. Thank you so much again. Welcome back. And we are finishing up. We've got our vegetables in the grill pan going, and we will start with our second fry of our chips, and we'll be ready for plating. Going to add our fries into the hot oil. And remember, this is just so we can crisp them up. They're not cold anymore, so we can put more than we did the first time into the pan. Let's see, can we get away with putting them all in there? I don't know. Oh, and they are cooking really fast. The second fry is usually faster. I already feel the difference in the chips. All right, we have that there. I'm going to move this. And I will get a plate so that I can put these nice crispy fries on when they are ready. Let's check on our vegetables. Now, what we have in the grill pan is we have carrots, we have eggplant, and we have cucumbers. I thought that this would add not only some color, but a different flavor to our dish. Let's put that one back on. We're not going to let them cook too long. And I also have here, this is a lemon, olive oil, chopped fresh mint in here with a little vinegar as well. Wipe my hands a bit. And we're just going to drizzle a little bit more of that on. But let me get my plate for my fries or my chips. Here we are for the crispy second fried chips. Look at that beautiful golden color. Absolutely beautiful. This is what you want. So now you know how the restaurants get it. I'm also going to get a plate to put our grilled vegetables on. Now you can season the grilled vegetables with the mint vinaigrette that I have before you put it in the pan or after. I find that the cucumbers stay a little firm if you add the oil after or the vinaigrette afterwards, which I like. Let's get these fries out, or these chips. They are absolutely beautiful. Look. Fabulous, fabulous. And that they're floating around in the oil indicates that they are ready to be taken out. But I think I'm going to let them get just a little bit more golden. This is beautiful. We'll add some more vegetables in here. I'm going to drizzle some of the vinaigrette on top of our eggplant as well. I love all the contrasting colors, and it's going to add an extra or added flavor to our food. Look at those. Aren't they beautiful? Nice, crispy, golden brown. These are beautiful. All right, I've turned off my burner, so our fries are there. And let's get a few more. Let me use this. I lost my little whisk. I'm going to drizzle a little bit of this atop and on these eggplants. We'll get a few more of these on, and then we'll start to plate. There we are. And you know that beautiful dark purple color of the eggplant will add to our colorful plate. Do a few more cucumbers. Now we'll let those cook and I will finish up the rest of these later. But I want to get us ready for when it's time to eat. So let's get some of this cleared away. This is really going to be a nice treat. I believe so. We are getting ready to wish our intern farewell, and we thank him for working here at WinTV as well as on Simply Fresh Food. And we wanted him to remember us. All right, so we are salting our fries. Yay! We're going to take off the rest of the grilled vegetables. There we are. I can't wait to dig in. I am going to now pull out our fish and we will get ready to plate. Here we are. And I have 2 forks, and you say, why 2 forks? Because I want to call out, Justin, unplug and come on out here with me. We want to thank Justin for being here with us on Simply Fresh Food as well as WinTV. Yay, Justin! All right, so Justin, because he traveled to Australia, we are going to have this Australian fish and chips. Oh, Justin, tell me, what was the food like over in Australia?
Well, it's pretty similar to America. They have a lot of places called kebab shops, but it mainly just sells pizza. There's a lot of Italian food there, actually. A popular dish is pasta bolognese.
Yes, one of my favorites too. So when I said I was making fish and chips, were you like, oh wow, I just had that?
Oh yeah.
Very good. Well, Justin, guess what I forgot? The chips. I got the fish, but I didn't put my chips on there. There we are. Now we have some fish and chips. And Justin, I'm going to let you do the honors and try something first. You pick whatever. While Justin and I are having some of this delicious fish and chips, I want to thank all of my sponsors as well as Justin for being here with Simply Fresh Food this season. And I will see you next time. What do you think?
Very good.
Yay! My turn.
Simply Fresh Food with Chef Renee is sponsored by Red Tail Heart and Vorath Cookware. We would like to thank Billings Forge Community Works for their ongoing community support.